Cull Obsidian is in the game. Ebony Maw coming very soon. These PvP tournaments are heating up, and there are more rumors and a lot more on your Marvel Strike Force weekly news update. And if you're ready for it, Khasino, my brother, tell them what to do.
Hear me and rejoice. You are about to die at the hands of the children of Thanos.
ValleyFlyin.
What is up, Valley Maniacs? ValleyFlyin here. I am back. Welcome to your Marvel Strike Force weekly news update. As usual, I am joined by my brother, my partner in crime, the master of disaster, Khasino. What is up, brother? How are you doing?
What's going on, man?
Ooh, we got a lot going on. Cull Obsidian is in the game. Ebony Maw is coming very, very soon. We will finally have empowered Thanos. Taskmaster's event is going on right now. We got some good rewards. Captain Marvel shards. There's a lot heating up with these PvP tournaments, and rumors are abound, and we're going to discuss them as much as we can here. And guys, as usual, this video goes long. This is a long video, longest video of the week. Timestamps are in the description, and let's just get started, brother. All right, Cull Obsidian arrived this past week. We saw his kit. We have known it for a while. I guess we never really knew when he would be arriving, but he is in the game. You've got to play with him. What are your thoughts on this character, my friend?
So I like him a lot. It's actually pretty similar to my thoughts on Corvus, though, which is that this guy is just an insane stat wall. His stats are ridiculous, and a lot of what he does comes from his just preposterous stats. Like, he has one of the top damage stats in the game. For a tank, I think at max he has like 21,000 damage or something absurd.
Ooh.
And his health, he has like 350,000 health at max. Just, he is an absurd stat wall. So the interesting thing about him is you won't really notice, you know, a lot of people are going to get him, 4 gold star, maybe 5 gold star, 2 or 3, 4 red stars if they're lucky. And so they're not really going to feel his full contribution against these like 7 gold star, but he's going to feel a lot like Blob, which is even at low stars, he's going to be there and he's going to function. But people are going to have a lot more respect for him when they start seeing really strong ones. Man, he can take a hit really, really well, and he dishes out some serious constant damage. So he's a monster, man.
All right, you're giving him a lot of props. Where, just out of curiosity, where is your Cull Obsidian right now?
4 gold, 4 red, somewhere around like 60k power, level 75.
Okay.
Gear tier 12, and I put T4s in his passive, and I want to put T4s in his ultimate as well.
What are you waiting for the ultimate? Because I have a similar starred. Oh, the T4s.
So I'm almost done with Dark Dimension 3. I'm on the second to last node of Dark Dimension 3.
Yeah.
And the problem is, thus far, I've been doing the city section with 2 people. Literally, Symbiote, Spider-Man, and Vulture. In another like 3-4 days, I should have Merc Lieutenant ready, and that'll really help. But so to get this far with 2 people, I ended up literally T4ing every ability Symbiote Spider-Man has, which they're all pretty good. Like, there isn't a bad one. So mine's 6 red stars. So it wasn't too hard of a decision to make, but it did cut into how many T4s I have.
Sorry, Cull. I'm sorry, Black Order, because you don't need to get to Dark Dimension 3.
Well, the thing is, by getting through Dark Dimension 3, my Black Order can all go up to like gear tier 14. So I hope they forgive me. It's in their own best interest.
Nice. Hey, quick question before we move on. Who's the better Hulk? Hulk, Cull Obsidian, or Thing?
The better Hulk? Oh, just like hulking character?
Yeah.
Well, Hulk is not in the conversation, unfortunately. But I think I gotta go Cull Obsidian. I mean, it depends if we're talking on their team or off. Like, on his team, Cull Obsidian is going to do more damage than like 90% of damage dealers. Just because the constant counterattacking with crazy high damage.
Counterattacking, the extra stats he's getting from being on the team, and then the already high base stats, right? So yeah.
Yep, he's gonna put out so much damage, and in terms of health, just unparalleled pretty much. Like 350,000 plus health at max is just so much health. So I think I gotta go Cull here. But Thing is pretty close.
And Hulk is just far behind. Come on, ValleyGIFT. We need Hulk a little better in this game. Now, guys, if you want to get Cull, you can get yours in Blitz this week. He is a Thursday Blitz coming up. And yeah, this is a good character. And you won't want to miss him if you're going to get Ebony Maw. So yes, Blitz this Thursday. All right. And 5 days from now, as of us recording this, Ebony Maw is coming to the game. How hyped are you for this, baby?
I'm looking forward to finally completing this team. He is a huge component of this team. And so while they already do decently well, he's really going to solidify them. So I'm ready.
All right. Do you think this is going to be the arena team? Do you think people are going to be able to punch up against Black Bolts, the Phoenixes? Who else is in arena? The Sinisters of the world. Do you think they're going to be able to punch up against these teams?
It's always tricky to predict the exact arena meta, but I can guarantee Ebony Maw will be part of it because Ebony Maw is the single best middle finger to Phoenix that we've had. He just has it out for Phoenix, and right now Phoenix still dominates arena. So Ebony Maw is gonna put her in her place, so to speak. Who's gonna be comboed with him? We'll see. Probably Thanos will be involved in that just because of all the things that Ebony does for him, but we'll see.
So yeah, I remember where the devs were saying they tested equal power against the meta teams. Black Order was able to win, but they also mentioned a couple power couples in there: the Ebony Maw, Thanos, and Cull Obsidian combo, and then the Proxima Corvus combo. Do you think that we'll have 3 new characters coming to arena, the full team, or just wait and see? Wait and see until you can see it in action.
It's a bit too early to say, but I'll tell you this. I would probably, again, we'll have to see what kind of comps we're running into, but I would love to run a strong Cull Obsidian with Ebony and Thanos, because that would lead to a lot of counterattacking. But there's also, like, if he becomes pretty commonplace to have on defense because of all the counterattacking and everything, I can get away with bringing Mr. Sinister and cloning a Cull. So we'll see. I'm hesitant to say we'll definitely see Cull, but I will say this: if you have a very strong Cull Obsidian, like high red stars, probably going to be using him. But you know, the arena meta has always been the trickiest possible thing to predict ahead of time, and we usually do it with some success. But a lot of it too also hinges on like who has the characters at the right power. So like we predicted early on that you would see Black Bolt, Yo-Yo, and Crystal in arena. And it took so long for Crystal to be available at high stars that we're just now starting to see Crystals creep into arena now that people have them strong enough. So,
and even now it seems like her time has kind of passed, right? Her time was like 3 months ago. Would have had strong Crystals in arena. Now it's like got a strong Crystal. Right. I see a few. Right. But they're not abundant in arena right now.
She's got a little while longer. She is still a very good answer to Phoenix, and her defensive passive is still really good for keeping Yo-Yo and Black Bolt alive. But yeah, they keep doing this to us where we try to figure out, all right, well, if you had everyone maxed, this is probably who you should use. And then, you end up in a situation where you're not able to get them even close to max for a very long time. And then who knows? So.
All right. So we finally got clarity. We pointed this out in the news video last week that the last time we heard about this was a long time ago. Finally got some information, and this was nice. I mean, basically, the summary of this whole blog post is right here. Basically, at the end of the day, players will receive an additional 50 Captain Marvel shards. I know you got your Captain Marvel shards previously as a previous bug. I got mines this time. I think this is the best possible scenario that ValleyGIFT could have done for resolving this. I mean,
yep, pretty much. Just give it to everyone.
This made me happy, and especially the competitive advantage that some players had over the others. I think they've done a pretty good job of leveling the playing field as much as they can for some of these bugs. But gotta tell you, this plus the Widowmaker calendar has been my biggest source of Captain Marvel shards individually forever. So keep making these bugs, keep giving out free random stuff, ValleyGIFT. All right, Taskmaster's event is in the game. I'm assuming this allowed you to get a few more gold stars on your Taskmaster.
I don't think it has yet. It definitely will, but I believe I'm working towards 6-star Taskmaster, and I think that's where I was. I think I don't remember. I think the day of I might have, but either way, it's going to help me get some more shards on Taskmaster. And I'm unlike the Proxima event. I think I've already gotten a couple Taskmaster in the middle drops, so I'm already feeling better about this one.
Yeah, I've gotten a few as well. It took me like a week and a half to get any in for Proxima in the middle. So this one feels a little better. There's some Karnak shards in there for people going after Ebony Maw as well. But as far as Taskmaster and his Merc team, you have another week under your belt playing War. Any thoughts changed about this team as far as counters, their strength, what you've done with yours? Anything changed with this team for you over this past week?
Honestly, not too much. I mean, they are menacing on war defense. You can throw, a really big team at them like X-Men or the Inhumans, but so far we're seeing two promising counters already. The first is Supernatural, which is if Doctor Strange doesn't get blinded, which is kind of a 50-50. If he gets that Winds of Watum off, depending on who they kill, they usually go after the top damage. So that's Scarlet Witch, and then I think it's Ghost Rider next. And when they kill Ghost Rider, he gives energy to Strange, who can revive both of them. So that's pretty nice.
Seems like that team works better if you are lucky enough to have Ghost Rider be your highest damage character instead of Scarlet Witch.
Well, so Scarlet, you don't actually need her turn 1 that urgently. It's nice if she's still alive, but you don't need her turn 1. Whereas if Ghost Rider is able to use his special before he goes down, that's a lot of bleed damage that they take, and they don't really have an answer for bleed damage. If you heal block them with Mordo, then they just take that damage, and the deflects don't save them from bleed damage or anything. So it's good.
I was thinking about Ghost Rider's passive, but that does make sense also.
And ideally, you'll come back with Strange, you'll Winds of Watum them, and their speed ups will get flipped into slows, which gives Scarlet enough time once she's revived to extend whatever debuffs they have on them or use her special and protect everyone. But so Supernatural does all right. And then literally earlier today, someone brought a suggestion to me that on paper seems like it'll work really well, and that is Sinister Six. And the idea behind that is Rhino gets a bunch of speed bar when he gets blinded. So while Shocker is the one with the highest damage, Rhino is number 2. So you can make sure Rhino gets targeted by making him just slightly stronger than Shocker. When he gets blinded, he's going to remove 1 debuff from his team, which is going to remove a bunch of the blinds. And although some of them also have bleed, you can use his special on the first turn, and that will clear 1 debuff from everyone on the team as well. Plus, they start with the early deflect, so they take the opening barrage decently well. And then you have Rhino taunting right away, so they're kind of, hitting different targets. You have Mysterio, who's going to heal block, and once they're heal blocked, they're kind of vulnerable, and they like to, clump up and be adjacent for all those perks. So you can just kind of melt the core by, Shocker has adjacency, Rhino has adjacency, Goblin has, I think his special is single target, but he can, his ult will hit multi-target, and his basic can do adjacency. So you have some tools for melting them.
I like that. So, I don't know why. I guess most people don't really have their Sinister Six with a lot of investment in them, but I'm not sure why this hasn't come out last week, because it does make a lot of sense on paper. So interested to see some playtest, and I guess this will be a follow-up question next week as well. See how the Sinister Six actually does on this team.
I haven't tested mine yet, but I'm hearing that people are managing like 60k punch-ups on them, which is really good. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to build my Sinister Six hearing that.
Right, yeah.
All right, and Friday we got a blog post, Ebony Maw's kit, nothing that we haven't seen before. We know the Ebony Maw event is coming, but this was pretty surprising to me. This Power Up Milestone event, where did this come from? It's just like Foxnex says, hey, have a bunch of power cores on us. Where did this go? I was not expecting this.
Well, so I certainly like it, but I'm actually, and I like to encourage just being optimistic and like being happy for when good things happen. But I'm gonna let my inner cynic out on this one. I don't think this is as much of a favor to us as people realize. I think that this is a proof of concept test for basically going to a more power core based business model. It's a way, and I think Scopely has a big hand in this, and I actually do want them to switch over to more of this type of a model, so I like it. But I think they're basically saying, well, let's give everyone a bunch of power cores as long as they're playing a lot, and then let's put a bunch of stuff for sale for power cores, and let's see how many people buy more power cores to top off if they get close on amounts on wanting to buy stuff, or if they'll play a lot more to try to earn the power cores to get this stuff. But I think they're trying to see, like, what if we went to a more power core based system of offers? Not that there wouldn't also be cash offers, but so their original parent company, Kabam, uses a very similar model on Marvel Contest of Champions. They have tons of offers for, in that game, what I think it's credits, something like that. And it's the same thing where you can just buy the currency with cash, or you can play a lot and save up. And basically the rate at which offers that you want come out are like, definitely there's more offers every day that you would want to spend your cores on compared to how many cores you can bring in. Like, you can't just get everything for free. Yeah. But if you're a really dedicated and you have really good resource management, any free-to-play player can save up massive amounts of power cores, and then they can plan around big strategic buys of certain power core offers. So I like that. I like that methodology. But so yeah, I think that's what they're looking at is let's see if we can incentivize people to play more by giving them more spending power, and let's put out a bunch of offers and see how this actually affects people spending or what. So
that makes a lot of sense. We because this extra cores did coincide with a lot of extra offers we had for a bunch of stuff with cores. So yes, they like to test stuff. So this goes perfectly in line with what they've done previously and some of the other business models that Scopely might have used in the past. So yeah, makes sense. I'm glad I asked you about this.
Hey, no problem. And yeah, if they're going to test stuff on us, I think this is the way to do it, is give people a bunch of power cores. Like, I'm all for it, man.
Yeah, me too. I like it. I like just giving stuff away.
And I'd rather have offers for power cores as opposed to for cash, because it allows free to play players to save up and get stuff.
Yeah, that was one thing in Future Fight. The uniforms were a big thing in that game, and you could get them with the premium currency, which you could earn in game, or you could just buy it right off the bat. So I did like that about that game.
Yep, and it'll still come out to like, oh, you can spend an entire month saving up, or you can just spend $9.99. You know, and there's still going to be plenty of people who are like, well, I'll just buy this. I'm not hoarding for an entire month for that thing. But
so basically good for the short term and potentially good for the long term, if this is the business model that they're eventually going to go with.
I hope that's what's going on. I mean, you know, maybe that's not what it is. Maybe they're like, what? No, we just want to do something fun. You know, I don't know, but I hope I'm right.
Every time we do anything fun, they always criticize us. We're not going to have fun anymore.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Good news. This was pretty fun. Elsa Bloodstone. We saw the data mine for this last week. We obviously had no idea when it was coming, but came out right before we started recording. Elsa Bloodstone now available on Nexus 5.3. Handblade Master moving to Villains 3.6, or is still available in 3.6. Does this mean that we can finally start using our Supernatural? Is Ghost Rider coming soon as well?
Hopefully.
Well, one half of the missing duo is appearing in orbs, so hopefully this means that we will get some Ghost Rider soon as well. So I'm glad she is farmable, though. Really need some damage from her, but I think the more coveted of the two was the Ghost Rider. If he was to come to the game, where would you want to see him added?
I mean, I would want to see him added, you know, just like Blitz Store, where I can get him very quickly, or something like that. Arena Store, you know, somewhere I can farm him quickly. But my guess is he'll either be, you know, in like Milestone Orb or Raid Store, something like that.
Milestone Orb doesn't count as farmable.
I mean,
Captain Marvel's not farmable.
Yeah.
Beta raids are back, and I think this is the first time in maybe 4 raid seasons that we have not got a new orb with our raids. Beta raids. What are your thoughts on this? What advice do you have for some mid-game players trying to tackle Beta 4 for the first time?
Well, honestly, I don't even remember what the lanes are for beta raids. At this point, the Greek raids are kind of on the back burner for my alliance. Like, we just kind of 100% them without putting much thought into it. It's just the same lanes every time it comes around. Yeah. So I would actually have to look at what the tags are for the given lanes to give proper advice on how to tackle beta raids. Like, they're probably, since they came out, there's probably better teams to work within the given tags for the lanes, but like I said, unfortunately, almost any question about raids is like I'm just, I literally have someone else in my alliance whose job it is to just like tell me where to report for raids. And if they actually ask for help and are like, I'm not sure, what teams should we be advising people to use, or what's the smartest way to drop the lanes, I'll help. But I basically tell them, like, if you guys can just deal with raids, I'll just show up, hopefully, and do my lane.
Hopefully is the key word, right?
Yeah, I missed it today like that, Jack.
All right, so earlier this week, we got information about the raid difficulty selector. It looks like it is in the game now as we speak. So no Ultimate 7, but you're getting the rewards like you passed Ultimate 7. Yeah, good stuff, bad stuff. What do you think of this raid difficulty selector?
Well, I definitely think it's a good thing for the game by giving players more control over what difficulty they tackle. It helps bridge the gap between Ultimate 6 and Ultimate 7. It gives the Mega Krakens up at the top a new pissing contest to get into, where they throw fistfuls of dollars at each other, trying to, always 100% the highest difficulty level. But that's not a bad compensation package. 180 T3s. I haven't needed T3s in a while, but that's a healthy amount. 5 orange gear orbs, so it's not bad.
Really good for newer players with this right here. A lot of this stuff. So to unveil the new difficulty selectors, you need to be able to complete 60% of Ultimate 6 or 100% of Ultimate 7. And right now, just for those 2 Ultimate raids, do you think, I know how easy you said the Greek raids word, would you like to see this more expanded towards the Greek raids, maybe make the Greek raids harder for better rewards?
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. Yeah, again, I don't think there's as much incentive because those are like a rotating thing, but I'd be fine with that. But I think we're more likely to just see a new tier of Greek raids, because this was done because there was a gap in the difficulty between 100% Ultimate 6 and 30% Ultimate 7.
Yeah.
But the Greek, they can just roll out a new difficulty that's in line with the intended difficulty, and it wouldn't be necessary, but whatever they decide to do. Again, I'm very hands-off with raid. I find raid to mainly be a chore. It's one of my least favorite game modes. Not to be a downer, raid's never interested me that much.
I know we're getting to PvP. We'll get there eventually.
We're talking.
All right. First time rewards, though, I thought this was interesting. Track down players, not alliances, so you cannot earn first time rewards twice. So do you think this is just going to be a big frenzy on the opening day? I'm going to get the first time rewards. I'm going to, or it's each player gets their own. I'm not sure how to interpret how this is written here.
They're saying that you can't get the first time rewards and then jump to an alliance that hasn't done it yet and get them again.
Got it. Okay, I see. Okay, so you will be able to. Everybody will be able to get it. You just cannot get it again. That makes a lot of sense, especially with all the shells going on, jumping alliances and stuff. All right, so yes, I hope they do add some more difficulties for maybe some of the Greek raids, increase the rewards as well.
I like that line in there. The power values displayed for nodes and enemies are estimates to allow for faster load times. That's basically them saying, like, look, we know the power numbers don't match sometimes, okay? We're just ballparking it. Leave us alone.
There's some very technical people on Reddit that every single number needs to match up, or like, hey, what is going on here? Yes,
but to be fair, that's true, but they're looking out for like, oh, they make you think it's going to be easy, so you go in, and when you get in, it's actually something totally different. So it's fair to be like, what's going on?
I mean, given FoxNext history, it is very understandable why people are like that.
Right. Yep, I don't blame those people at all, but I do think that FoxNext, rather than be like, all right, let's always make sure all the numbers line up, they're like, look, they're ballparks, all right? They're not always going to line up. It's going to be pretty close. Leave us alone.
All right, and I was not expecting this soon. Obviously, at some time, Corvus Glaive had to come to basic orbs, premium orbs, mega orbs, but this was a little surprising. As a result, we have removed Deadpool and Black Panther from the mega orb to keep the orbs content exciting and up to date. Do you think this means that mega orbs are going to be a little more mega now, and they're going to start removing some characters to make it a little more fresh, like they say they're going to do?
That's what I'm hoping to see. I think that would be a good trend if mega orbs continue to have less desirable characters in them, just so that every mega orb opening is like, all right, you got a good chance of getting high, a nice volume of shards on a desirable character. Like, I haven't cared about a mega orb opening in so long, because I always have like a 3 out of 60 chance of getting something I want. So I just, And I get like 1 mega orb a month.
You get a mega orb, you open it like, oh, it's one of the characters I already have at 7 stars.
All right, 50 Groot.
Ultimate shards that are going to turn into more ultimate shards once I open the ultimate orbs.
It's actually, here's the craziest thing. So they do, you can tell in Dark Dimension 3, they have like a bunch of gold, a bunch of T4s, a mega, or then a bunch of gold again. Then they have the mega orb one, and then they have the Elite 5 one.
Yeah.
And the mega orb one is such a letdown.
Yes, because to get into Dark Dimension 3, you've probably been playing for a while. A lot of your characters already use 7 stars. To open a mega orb where you're probably going to get a character that you already have at 7 stars. Interesting, but I'm glad to see that they're starting to remove some of these characters, and hopefully one day we'll get a very nice looking mega orb. And hopefully this is a bigger trend that they start to do with premium orbs, because that orb has been so outdated for so long. So hopefully this is a trend to come, of things to come. All right, big news for, I guess, both of us. But you hosted a PvP tournament. I competed in one. I thought the one on your channel was very well organized. All the little brackets. You had people waiting in lobbies. I am very, very happy with the real-time PvP. What are your thoughts on this game mode now that you've had another week to digest it, and you've had some tournaments under your belt at this point?
Well, as we're gonna talk about in a bit, I did discover some discrepancies in PvP that I hope get addressed pretty quickly. But yeah, we'll talk about that. But otherwise, I mean, I really like the game mode. There's one like really, besides that huge imbalance issue that we'll talk about, there's one like really game breaking bug, which is if someone who gets their first turn. So originally it's supposed to be you have 180 seconds between the two of you to each make your first move. And the way they described it was the first person to go gets 180 seconds. The second person gets whatever is left of that 180 seconds for their first move. And then it goes to the 15 seconds. Well, that's how they describe it. That's definitely not how it functions. But how it functions is much worse. The way it functions is once you take that first move, immediately your opponent's clock starts ticking. But if your opponent isn't loaded in, they can have turns. I've seen this happen multiple times. I was playing against someone who was grabbing Shuri in every matchup. And so as soon as they loaded in, and they were playing from their mobile device, they loaded in before my emulator, they were just instantly Shuri defense up, and then it threw it over to me. Multiple matches, I loaded in, and it was like, 2, 1, go. And it just did my ability for me. And I was like, what the? I just got here.
You mentioned that last week, and I guess now we know the why, now that I've done a few more PvP battles. Yeah. I guess we know why now. They have not attached rewards to this game mode. It's kind of a test, ironing out some of the bugs. Yeah. I'm still having fun with it though. What are your thoughts on all these tournaments and all these future tournaments that look like they are on schedule? I think there's enough interest at this point.
Yeah, no, it's a very good sign. People are enjoying the game mode, and I find it to be, surprisingly competitive. Definitely, I'm noticing a big difference in skill. I said I was looking forward to this mode to separate the men from the boys, and man, has it. The number of people with much higher TCP and STP than me who I have been educating on how this game should be played has been wonderful. Just beating up on people like 11 million TCP. I'm enjoying every second of it, and yeah, we saw some really good skill expression in the tournaments. We were seeing some interesting stuff. I've seen some really good moves by people. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's really bringing out that skill expression. But I will say a lot of it right now is actually tied to the drafting phase. Like how to navigate within the match definitely makes a difference. I'm definitely seeing people lose matches because they're using the wrong ability or not taking advantage of some little quirk of an ability. You know, like they'll hold off on an ult because they're blind because they forgot that it's cannot miss or something like that. But a lot of it is the pick ban. So I would like to see a little bit more emphasis on the actual gameplay. But I think in future draft modes, we'll see it be a little bit more about the gameplay. But either way, I mean, I'm having a ton of fun. I'm usually doing at least a few PvP matches on stream every day. And I've only lost a single best of 5 so far to someone named Disease, and then people wanted us to rematch the following day, and I swept them in a best of 3. I just beat them twice, so it's been pretty good.
Now, I know there's been some comments that you've responded to about just doing matches for stakes. You said that just on stream is where you're doing the matches for stakes, and you're just playing for fun off stream. Is that?
Yes. If you just want to, goof around and play some matches with me, try some stuff, you feel free to contact me off stream. But I only want to be judged on my recorded performances where I'm definitely trying to win, whether I win or lose. And so, yeah, I've been just only doing try-hard matches for stakes on stream. And then just to further clarify too, the first thing that came to my mind when I decided I want to play for stakes was I was like, well, how do you, what's the easiest way to have stakes and make people care about whether they win or lose? So I was like, oh, it's $10. Just put $10 on it. That way, no one's going to not care if they win or lose if they have $10 riding on it. And a lot of people took that way out of context and tried to make it about trying to start a gambling ring and force people to gamble and trying to profiteer off the chat. And I basically immediately had to go on damage control and be like, that was never what this was about. I do plenty of things for money reasons.
A little bit.
No. It wasn't. But like I figured if I'm winning more than I'm losing, I'll probably make some money off this, but it's not an amount of money that I cared about. Like I wanted it to be an inconsequential amount. If I was like, I'm only playing $25 matches, like maybe I could, kind of make something happen there if I had nonstop matches lined up. But that was never, it was like, this is my next.
Just to make it more interesting for entertainment purposes.
I just wanted to have stakes. And so people flipped out about it being attached to money. So we dropped the money component because it was never about the money. It was about the stakes. So we still have stakes. Now I've been, the most common stake we've been going with is people renaming themselves in game. So Disease was feeling pretty confident after he beat me in the best of 5, which to his credit, he beat me 3-2 there. So the following day he was like, let's rematch and do a name change. So he is now known as Simp for Cass. So yeah, shout out to Simp for Cass.
Interesting. So yeah, the stakes are still there, but the money component is gone. So
yeah,
cool. Yeah. So yeah, and then you also do fun ones as well. I do them, just not as much as you. All right, but as fun as this game mode is, you found something that kind of breaks it a little and makes me glad that this is just still a for fun game mode. Let's go to your video. All right, and I know how much fun you're having with this game mode, but you put up this video a couple days ago, which highlighted some discrepancies in the real-time PvP matchmaking. I guess not necessarily the matchmaking, but some of the bonuses that are applied to teams. This game, what you said in your video, is designed to have the AI always on the right side, the players always on the left side, but it switches around. Is that how it is? That, am I interpreting that correctly?
Yes, but so saying that like the AI always has bonuses. So let me be very clear. Firstly, that there is a significant advantage to being on the right side in the fight, but it's not what a lot of people think. A lot of people have been saying like, yeah, I've noticed the AI revives a lot more. I've noticed that the AI has a much better dodge chance, all that. And that is all true, but that has nothing to do with PvP.
That's not in PvP. Okay, so Venom, not Venom, Vision would not be a broken character in this game mode if you got on the right side. Okay. That makes me feel a little better. That makes me feel a little better.
Yeah, it's none of that. So that is we used to be able to see this in the code a long time ago, but they basically have like a PvE difficulty dial. And when they crank up that PvE difficulty dial, it actually comes with things like increased dodge chance, increased focus, increased resistance, things like that, kind of hidden stats that fluff them up. And I guess they got rid of it because they didn't want people seeing it and actually accounting for what the new numbers are. But yeah, they do. I'm happy to call them out for that. They totally help the AI cheat, but that has nothing to do with PvP. However, specifically with PvP, there are a bunch of passives. So basically, passives, the way they're currently calculated, specifically ones that trigger at a certain percentage health, they happen left to right, like left side first, then right side.
Okay.
So a perfect example that you just saw in the video behind you was Human Torch versus Yo-Yo. If you are on the left side, your Human Torch looks for debuffs to turn into positive effects, doesn't find anything, Then it goes over to the right side, and Yo-Yo applies her passive at the start of his turn and puts offense down on him. And on the left side, your Human Torch is stuck with offense down. If you swap the sides, Yo-Yo on the left side will go first and put an offense down on Johnny. Then Johnny's passive will kick in, see the offense down, flip it to offense up. So left side Johnny, offense down every turn against Yo-Yo that he doesn't resist. Right side Johnny, offense up every turn against Yo-Yo that he doesn't resist. Pretty big difference between being offense down and offense up. And we tested a few, like the one you have in the background right now is, and this one's a bit of a goofy one, but this one was just Pyro's heal block versus Hulk's below 25%. That they cleanse it, and Hulk on the left side, which is the player side, is going to get stuck with that heal block after he does his cleanse. But Hulk on the right side, as you just saw, gets heal blocked, then goes second, and then cleanses it. But the other one that actually may come up in PvP a bunch, that's also, again, just all of these instances are just heavily skewed in favor of that right side. But it was Loki and War Machine. Loki on player side throws Asgardians in stealth when they drop below 50%, himself included. War Machine on the other side then will go and put a taunt on him. But if you flip the sides, same thing. War Machine will put the taunt, then the Loki on the other side will throw him in stealth and remove that taunt. So just in all these instances, the right side just gets the good deal. And for PvE content, FoxNext I'm sure doesn't mind that. But for PvP, just whoever's on that right side just has this significant advantage. And I'll talk in a sec about mentioning that further to Cerebro, but the devs did not seem that concerned with this. I am very concerned with this. So yeah, if you guys can help me make some noise on this right now, it's just to your advantage to be on the right side.
Let's make some noise, guys. Come on, let's get this so it's a random turn order as far as the passives and stuff in PvP mode, because I think it's mainly affecting the passives of these teams and the order that the passive triggers. So if they could randomize that, because I know when characters have both the same speed, it is a coin flip on who gets to go to have that turn first. So if they do that with the passives as well, that would fix this. I don't mind it in PvE. I don't care if the AI is a little tougher, because AI sucks. Right. But when it's PvP, one wrong move costs you the match. So yeah, little things like this are very important. So
but it's even just knowing, like being on that right side, specifically for the Yo-Yo Human Torch example, just knowing like I'm on the right side, whether I pick Yo-Yo and they pick Human Torch, or they pick Human Torch and I pick Yo-Yo, either way, you know, I'm getting the good end of the deal. Regardless of which character I get, it works out for me on this side. And like that shouldn't be the case.
Strategize. I mean, I guess people could use this for now to strategize in the draft to make sure they're not drafting characters that are going to be less useful on certain sides. So I guess this is a good thing for now. But yeah, FoxNext, fix this.
Yeah, it's good to know. But what it boils down to is if you're on the right side, you have more options available, period. Yeah, and so yeah, I hope they fix it. It's a big deal in terms of competitive integrity.
Yeah.
You know, you don't just want the person on the right side always getting the good deal. It's just not fair.
Agreed. So. Agreed. Especially if they're going to be doing big tournaments and things like this.
Mm-hmm. I proposed a few solutions to it, but the main one that I suggest is just separate checks. Like right now, they all use the same check of like, did someone go below 50? And then it just kind of like goes in a left to right order of passives proccing.
Yeah.
But if they had a concrete order of just like Loki checking if an Asgardian went below 50, then War Machine checking if someone went below 50.
Something consistent with that.
Yeah.
That works as well. I like that solution as well.
Yeah. Then you know what you're getting into on either side. So.
Yeah. All right, yeah, so I hope some of those things do get fixed. And you did mention speaking to Cerebro about a few things. I think the highlight of that conversation was the PvP tournaments. What are you able to share with us about that from that conversation?
Well, so unfortunately, like it's not so much that things are off the table from being discussed. It's that just a lot of what was discussed was like he was just kind of doing like an exploratory thing where he was like, I want to help the community run tournaments. What kinds of things could we do? But he was more just trying to get a feel for like what kinds of things could FoxNext do to make tournaments better.
Yeah.
And so I was able to give him a lot of suggestions, but it wasn't like he could hear something and then immediately be like, all right, I'm signing off on that. We're definitely going to do that. It was like, all right, now I have an idea of all the things you want. Let me go see what I can and can't get done. So I can kind of go over a little bit about what's discussed, but unfortunately, nothing concrete was pinned down. But so the first thing is, I didn't think there was any possibility of actual in-game prizes. I thought for some reason, they were trying to avoid that. But I mentioned it because a lot of people said like, oh, it'd be cool if the actual FoxX endorsed tournaments had like power core payout or things like that.
Yeah.
And so again, it's by no means something that's happening, but it's definitely at least something that he's going to explore and see. So maybe that'll be a thing that happens. I also suggested cosmetics, whether in the form of like a profile border for taking first place or some kind of character skin or something. But I just basically said people would really enjoy cosmetics, and that's a way for people who do well in the tournaments to get something without having an advantage over other people.
I like that idea because some people like PvP, some people don't, and if you want to play it, you get some advantages as far as cosmetics, but not really something game breaking or game changing. So I hope they listen to that suggestion and like it. I like that one.
I agree. I really like the idea of tying PvP to cosmetics, which again, that's not skins confirmed. It's none of this stuff. This was all just like, all right, this is good feedback.
Ideas at this point.
I also like these ideas. We'll see what the team says, things like that. So hopefully
the team likes that idea because I do.
Right, exactly, and I feel the same way. But yeah, so just know that this entire conversation does not mean anything is definitely coming, but these are just kind of the suggestions I made. So
at the very least was mentioned to Cerebro.
Yeah. I definitely relay these things. I strongly encouraged the need for a spectate feature, because the way we've been doing it right now is we're basically requiring everyone that participates in the tournament to be able to share their screen.
The live stream of that tournament, yes.
Yeah, so that we can spectate, so that we can commentate. But the problem is if you have, like, oh, well, some people stream, some people don't. Like, what fun is a finals match? Like, oh, the finals are going on now? What are we doing? Why are we staring at your desktop? Oh, well, those guys don't stream.
We're going to describe to you how it goes.
There's just going to be a lot. You're just going to see in chat, GG, he won. All right. Very exciting finals.
Tournament, guys. We'll see you next time.
Woo! Finals. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Exactly. So I'm in a position where I either have to require people to be able to screen share or they need to add in a spectate feature of some sort. And if they had the technology for a spectate feature, which maybe they do, maybe they don't, then I know people have been asking for, like, I want to be able to go back and see our war defenses and whatever. So maybe that could be used in other game modes, maybe view arena defense. I don't know, but it'd be a cool thing to have. So I asked for that. I mentioned looking into if there was anything they could do to help the people who actually organize tournaments, because like that was an all-day affair, and I had like 8 people helping me for many hours run a tournament. And so again, he didn't give any specifics, and he didn't say it will be done, but he was like, I agree, it would be cool if we could do something for people that help organize tournaments. So I'll see if we can help them out a little bit as well. So don't know what that's going to mean or anything, but at least that topic came up. But yeah, just a lot of good promising things. Again, absolutely nothing was like, all right, that will be done. It was just, it's good to know what kinds of things you guys would like to have from us. And I'll get to work on seeing what we can actually provide for you. But yeah, it was mostly him interviewing me, if you want to put it that way. And then at the very tail end, everything he was saying, the point of this chat was to help with PvP events. So he didn't have anything particularly interesting or exciting to say, but just know that I did badger him about blitz botting. I did badger him about Alliance War matchmaking. I did badger him about the indiscrepancy on the sides for PvP, and I did badger him about an API. So did my job as
hopefully we will be getting some official announcements on any or some of those topics very soon. Those are all what inquiring minds want to know right now.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, those are the big issues that we really need some answers on. So,
yes, I agree. We do need some answers on some of those, especially the blitz bots and some of these other things. But let's have some fun. It is fun time now. Let's talk rumors. And there have been a few new rumors from the in-house rumor guy on this channel. And I guess let's start with the first one. That was the guy announced earlier this week, Drew, the rumor guy. He gave one word, Spiderverse. This could go in many different directions because symbiotes are needing to kind of complete their team. I mean, you got normal Spider-Man and Miles on there, but they don't really seem to get a lot of the benefits that the symbiotes do. So not sure if this is a symbiote reference. The Spider-Gwen is highly requested. There's a lot of different directions this Spider-Verse hint could go with. What are you thinking this means?
I mean, there's a lot. I really want to see Spider-Gwen. I think she'd be a great addition to the Spider-Verse. And if there's a leading theory that the symbiotes will split off and be their own team, and then the Spider-Verse will fill out with characters like maybe Spider-Man 2099, Spider-Noir, Spider-Ham, all those.
Howard the Duck. If Spider-Ham comes to the game, I think there's a very good chance Howard the Duck is coming to the game as well.
I want them both, man. I want them both. But yeah, I'm fine with that. We're still missing Doc Ock from Sinister Six, and then Shocker still needs to make Electro.
Craven, Electro. Yeah, there's a lot of Sinister Six missing. So maybe.
Craven, I believe, is going to appear in the Morbius movie if and when that actually sees release.
Okay, so maybe waiting on Craven, but there's a lot of Spider-Man rogues galleries that's not out yet. So. Potentially even one of those, symbiotes, one of those guys, more heroes. I mean, go a lot of different directions in this with that. So I don't know, guys, let me know your comments. Let me know your thoughts. Leave those in the comments. Now, we also got another hint from Drew. This was about the X-Force. I'm not sure if he said X-Force or people are just assuming X-Force. I know at one point he mentioned mutants, but he said Brawler, Damager, and another character with crits and evades. Now, I think this kind of makes sense, judging by who has been rumored of this X-Force release. What are your thoughts? Do you think it pretty much aligns with what we've been hearing so far?
Help me out here. So, a Brawler, Damager, one character, and crits and evades another, or one character, Brawler,
Damager? He said a Brawler, a Damager, and another character that does crits and evades, is what he said.
Okay, and we heard what? We heard X-23, Negasonic, and Domino?
And Domino, yeah, so...
So I'm hoping that the Brawler is X-23. I'm hoping the Damager is Negasonic, and then crits and evades lines up. Both of those things are things that are a matter of chance. That sounds like Domino to me. X-Force really needs the love. I'm a huge fan of Cable and Deadpool, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they work together as a team. I also am a little concerned. X-Force, right now, they don't have a lot of defense. They don't really have a tank or anything. So a Brawler, a damage dealer, and then someone just crits and evades. Doesn't sound like they have much in the way of defense on an X-Force team.
Well, the previous game that I played, Marvel's Avengers Alliance 2, that was the first game I covered on this channel. They had Wasp as a tank. And she wasn't beefy. She doesn't have a lot of stats, but she had a lot of evades. So she would have this taunt on her, and you just wouldn't be able to hit her. Kind of like Spider-Man taunting in this game, when the AI is playing Spider-Man. And that's kind of what they used as a tank. So I'm wondering if that's something we'll see from this rumored character, if these rumors end up being true.
Yeah, and could always go the route of the symbiote team, what they have now, which is there's no tank, but they get... Not only do they all heal each other for the most part, but then if Venom is healthy enough, everyone gets 2-turn defense up. So maybe they'll do something like that where they'll get a bunch of deflect, or they'll get defense up, depending on how some of the other characters are doing, things like that. But yeah.
A lot of different ways they could go with this. I just want to see some creativity. It's so easy just to put out a kit, but it's so much more exciting when you got this intricate kit that works and synergizes well with other characters. So that's really what I'm hoping for with this team. And I hope if X-Force is the team that is coming, that they do pretty good, because Cable, Deadpool, they haven't had a home for 2 years. I don't think they've ever had a solid home for either of those characters to work together and take advantage of their synergy.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, people have stuck them on X-Men or Marauders, and they kind of do okay, but Wolverine, he doesn't even count. But Deadpool does all right on the Hero Brawler team. But yeah, they need a real team.
Yeah, so bring them together. So hopefully there's a rework coming for those characters as well, if it is in fact X-Force.
Yeah, it'd be even better.
All right, brother. Well, once again, it has been a pleasure. Thank you once again. But before you go, let everybody know where they can find you. Let them know what you got going on in this coming week.
I got all sorts of stuff coming on. I've been streaming Marvel Strike Force every single day on YouTube around 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. The tier list stream, I believe we just pinned it down for this coming Monday, which is a holiday. Everyone's going to have off.
Nice.
So, yeah, there should be some new infographics. But yeah, just doing a lot of live PvP, getting some really good matches, teaching people about some stuff, some pocket
changing
picks.
people's names, baby.
Changing people's names. Discovering some loopholes in the PvP system as it is, things like that. So,
any other tournaments? Any other big tournaments coming up on your channel?
I do want to host another tournament, and the first one was pretty successful. So yeah, I'll have to see what the schedule allows for. But yeah, the sooner I can run another tournament, the better. So
yeah, that was very fun. Thank you for inviting me in on that to commentate on a few matches. I like doing that. So anyway, guys,
I will say the main thing is, sorry to cut you off. The main thing is I put up the $100 prize for the first tournament. So I can't run them like every 3 days because no one else is going.
Why don't we make tournaments with entry fees and people put up their own prizes and kind of doing something like that? I don't know. Yeah, maybe there's a simple way to do that you don't have to get involved financially with any of it.
If you want to sponsor a tournament, whether for your alliance name or for your company or brand, just reach out to me and we could probably make that happen.
And yeah, links are down below, guys. Twitch, YouTube, all that stuff, and especially his Discord. That's probably the best place to contact you, correct?
That is correct.
Cool. Well, I am also on Discord if you want to reach out to me and check me out there. If you guys like this video, we do this every single week. Khasino, we are consistent with this bad boy. Over a year now, so subscribe, like, share this with all of your friends, especially if they're not in the know with Marvel Strike Force, and especially hit that notification bell so you get notified every time a new video goes up. If you are listening to this on the podcast version, make sure you leave a nice review on whatever platform you're listening on, and I will see you next time. Khasino, once again, thank you for joining me. Guys, there's some links down below to support the channel. Check me out on social media and give me that Hulk fist bump, baby! ValleyFlyin out!